The caterer for the hotel.
It's undercover. Yeah, we're live with YouTube.
Live on YouTube. You know what I mean? This session is Get Your Life Together.
Featuring.
Featuring Chase Sailor. Yeah. Where you can go get a car. You can get a note at a low price. Credit, no credit, or cosign. That's a good truck, Paw.
Is it? Are they hearing you right now?
On YouTube. Not on Facebook yet. Yeah. YouTube is what it's all about. Jelly Roll,
Better quality.
Jelly Roll, we heard you coming for the state fair again. You need to come get on this show. And after
You
you
better talk to F5 and give him some.
after you get on this show, then we're gonna go to the state pen and we're gonna take a tour. I'm about to be in Nashville on Tuesday. I'll be there till Thursday. I'm coming looking for you, Jelly Roll. Hit me up. Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. Testing 1, 2. It's a great day to be alive and sober. It's the weekend, baby. It's the weekend. Yes, we got a 72-mile-an-hour wind coming out the due northwest. It's supposed to be -6. Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby. Start it over. Ain't nothing like part due. Part due. Hot shots.
Juice.
Yeah, with -87, man. Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend, baby. Welcome back to another Friday night episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, baby. It's the weekend, baby. And I hope everybody is having a beautiful end of their week. I know we started off frigid, then we warmed up. Now we're about to have record-breaking wind and negative temperatures. My heart goes out to all the homeless people or the people that's in between trap houses, because I remember back in 2017, the beginning of 2018, right before I changed my life forever, I was one of those people that was freezing in this type of terrain. But they do have some things online that's saying where people can go in different cities in North Dakota if you don't have anywhere to go to stay warm. So Ministry on the Margins in Bismarck, you can go to United Way. I'm pretty sure if they're overbooked, too many people there, you can get a hotel voucher of some sort. But we want to keep everybody from freezing to death. And this is the only place on earth that I've ever been where I've actually met people that had family members that died of freezing to death. You know what I mean? Man, they say hell is hot, but I think it's cold. But tonight's show is being sponsored by Tied for Second Sober Living and New Freedom Center. Beds are available. Just call 701-527-4000. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Pure Recovery Center in Raleigh, North Dakota, or you might see a sign that says St. Gertrude. Beds are available. Just contact Pure Recovery Center. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Preferred Heating and Air, your leading heating and air company in the Bisman area. If you need your furnace fixed or anything to do with heating and air, you can get your Generac generator gas line hooked up. Contact Preferred Heating and Air. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Hope's Landing in Dickinson, North Dakota. Sober Living. Beds are available. Also, tonight's show is being sponsored by Serenity Bridge. Sober Living right here in Bismarck, North Dakota. I want to give a special shout out to Hip Hop and Hope out of Fargo, and also Relevant Life Church in Fargo. Pastor Travis Lynn, if you're in the Fargo area, go check them out. But I got a special guest in the house tonight. He happens to be Divorce #1 salesman,
Yeah.
employee of the month. They got his picture on there, and next week he gets to start on the fries, and that's when the big bucks start rolling in. I got my man Chase Saylor. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are
You
you?
having a good day?
I'm having a great day.
I want to thank you for coming out of your busy schedule. You know what I mean? Well, welcome.
Wow. Thank you.
Yep. You staying warm?
I am.
Yep. I don't know if I should have a turtleneck or a full body suit on out there. You know what I mean?
Gotta get yourself a heated vest.
Yeah, a windbreaker just ain't gonna cut it, you know? So Chase, how long have you been sober?
So this time around, I just got out of a relapse incident. Got sober again the second time on December 1st.
Okay.
So, no, November 1st.
November
November
1st.
1st, so got like over 2 months now.
Congratulations, my brother.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Preferred Heated and Air, I got you a fresh tea.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And on behalf of Tied for Second Sober Living, I got you a long sleeve. And on
Thank you.
behalf of Sober Talk, I got you a sticker for your water bottle.
Thank you.
So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from a small town here in North Dakota, Beulah.
Beulah, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Man, that's what brought me to North Dakota. You know what I mean?
Why?
Yep. I was high on coke. I was in Thibodaux, Louisiana. I hadn't slept in a few days, and some buddies of mine came in and they said, "Man, they got a job opening in Beulah, North Dakota at the gas plant."
Yeah.
And we were 28 hours away in South Louisiana. And they said, "Man, they need 4 people. We're gonna make all this money and this and that." So I jumped in the truck with them and I went to sleep. And I woke up and we was in Iowa somewhere. And we arrived to big old Beulah, North Dakota. And I thought we was coming to ski slopes and mountains. We came, it was frozen, nothing. Man, you know what I mean? And we got a hotel room at the worst hotel in Beulah. And then started working, and then we got an apartment in big old Glen Ellen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. So I know all about Beulah. You know, I met my dude, I was in Glen Ellen. Some South Africans and Australians working on a farm. They gave me some kangaroo meat, and they wanted to share everything with us. You know what I mean? It was a great time, but I didn't know originally why God brought me up to North Dakota. I thought I came in to make a whole bunch of money, take over the world, and curse my baby mamas out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But God had a different plan. He wanted to save me. There's something in the soil here.
Yeah.
So, how was it growing up in Beulah?
Um, I had my ups and downs.
Right. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters.
Yeah. I grew up in a divorced family.
Okay. How old when they got divorced?
Oh, I was like preschool age,
Okay.
really young,
Yep.
almost too young to like remember most of it, Growing up, obviously, it was always hard to fit in,
Hmm.
try to find, my place and stuff. I played a lot of basketball growing up,
Basketball.
Yeah.
Thought you'd have been a ping pong man. Yeah.
No.
What shooting guard or what?
Beer pong, that's a different story.
Yeah. What position? Basketball.
Like forward,
Yep.
you know.
Well, that's what's up. I didn't play much sports growing up. I played hooky though.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played through middle school. After that, I stopped and then I just kind of, started doing a lot of socializing, going out, drinking.
Well, how old were you first tried drugs or alcohol?
That's a good question.
Middle school?
Probably eighth grade. Yeah.
Okay. Drinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
First thing I did for drugs, was, weed, marijuana.
Okay.
Never got into any like hard drugs or anything when I was in high school.
Okay.
For the most part, my addiction took off, after I graduated
Right.
and enrolled in college,
Okay. Where at in college?
down here in Bismarck,
Okay.
BSC.
So you did graduate?
Not from high school, I did, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I ended up dropping out of college. I I got so tied up in the drugs and stuff and,
Hmm.
dealing with withdrawals and everything. It was hard to make it to class and shit,
Hmm.
stuff.
Um, any DUIs in your life?
No, when it comes to the law, I got pretty lucky. I mean, there's plenty of times where should have been pulled over for drinking and
Me
driving.
too. Oh,
Never,
I have been pulled over and they still let me go.
always take the back roads,
Yeah,
the gravel roads.
Them Beulah back roads.
Yeah. You gotta
Uh,
know all the, section lines and stuff, and snake
yeah,
your way home.
yeah. I don't know if I'm in Beulah or Lakeshire.
Yeah.
Uh, have you ever overdosed?
Um, mm, no, no. I mean, I've come close to it. I never, got really into fentanyl, but, I bought a bag one time of dope, of meth and that, it was laced with fentanyl.
Okay,
Um, like, heart started racing, like I got real cold, like started to get tired and stuff, like I
yeah,
was almost to the point where I was like afraid to fall asleep because I was like, what the hell is going on?
right,
But I never messed with just fentanyl. That was
right.
like my only experience with it. Um,
Have you ever thought you did die in OD and this is the afterlife?
no,
but
no.
uh, so meth was your
It started with pills,
okay,
honestly. I started experimenting with pills. That brought me to IV usage.
okay,
Um, and then once I started, shooting up, opioids, I experienced withdrawals, for the first time.
right.
Got super sick, and somebody recommended to me to prevent myself from experiencing those withdrawals, just substitute it out with meth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I run out of pills and stuff, so I started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that's what really got me hooked though.
That's when a snake bit you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
up
does it every time.
up for days, and then like then you kind of get stuck, because you can't crash and pass out for days, when especially if you're trying to hold a job and stuff,
Right.
so you just get into that cycle of like you gotta just keep on using, and like just take those cat naps and like keep on going.
Your family ever came to you back then and was like, "What's going on with your son?"
Yeah, they knew. Over time that they started to question it. Obviously, I lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the main reason of why they, were aware. I mean, I always denied it, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, they were fully aware of it. I mean, I don't see why they, with all the signs that they had, I don't
Mm-hmm.
see that they wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
thought anything other than drugs. Um,
Any spiritual life growing up?
I
Like
grew
any?
up going to church,
Okay.
Sunday school. Like they had like the Bible school in the summertime, attended
Right.
those and stuff.
So at a young age, you did believe in a higher power.
Yeah,
Yep.
always. I mean, even through my addiction, I know I believed because it was always God's fault,
Right.
like the things how life is playing out, the things that were happening, like where I was at that time, it was his fault,
Yeah.
like, so it's not that I never didn't believe. I, I, part of me, like that's when it comes to my relapse. So I relapsed last summer. I started,
So how long were you sober before you relapsed?
so I got sober in, um, 2022, February 14th.
Mm-hmm.
I started treatment at Heartview and
My sobriety birthday is February 12th.
well, see, I was drinking for the first few days, so the 17th, February 17th is my sober date then, and I was sober for over 2 years.
In sober living.
I was in sober living for 16 months.
So majority of it.
Yeah, and then like a year out of not even a year out of sober living, but I
Was that the longest you ever been sober?
yeah,
How did it feel?
well that's the thing. So I like being spiritual and stuff. I I truly believe that's kind of what led me to my relapse. I wasn't really spiritually fit. I wasn't praying and stuff, like the suggestions were given to me, but I never like followed through with them.
Hmm.
Like there was almost like that, like you almost feel like I don't know how to explain it, but like oh, like praying, like I'm not gonna do that, like that, what I mean, like that whole feeling you get, like
Hmm.
thinking like, oh, God's not gonna change my life. And
Hmm.
so I wasn't spiritual, and I went to meetings, I did the other things that are suggested, but it obviously wasn't enough because I last summer I started with drinking.
How did that even like come about? Like
I don't
you just
know, it
went to the
was
store and got some. Somebody showed up,
I just got bored. I was just bored and just tired of
isolating.
not really. I mean, I was still going to meetings and stuff, but I just tired of the like nothing was changing in life. I mean, I was just like stuck. And I just needed something to change. And so I was like, well, maybe I can drink.
Yeah.
And I started drinking, having a few at the bars, and then then it led to me, buying bottles and bringing them home, drinking
Mhm.
at home.
Mhm.
And then that led eventually to me trying drugs again. And
It does every time.
yes, it does.
Because I know one thing: if Brother Brandon gets drunk or starts drinking, 30 minutes later, I won't drink. You know what I mean?
Well, see, it didn't happen right away, but over time it got to that point. I was doing drugs. I didn't shoot up that time though, through
Yeah.
this
You kept
relapse.
it professional.
So I mean, I don't know if I'd be sober now if I would have started using needles again.
Right.
Um, so I now I lost my track.
It's all good, brother. I'm glad you're still alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the weird thing is though, like this second time getting sober, like I was at home and I had some like a bag of dope, and a pipe, and I was smoking it,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know what I've never got rid of drugs before, like tossed them out,
Right.
I've licked the bags clean,
Was people calling you?
yeah.
Was people like hitting you up like, where you at?
No, like I mean, obviously there was those friends that were concerned, but they were aware that I relapsed. I didn't hide that from them.
Mhm.
Like even I was still in contact with my sponsor at the time. He
Mhm.
was aware of it, but like what can somebody do? If you don't want to do it for yourself.
Right.
So I
Want to blame everything on God. God said, okay, I'll show you.
but God, I got me sober the second time. Like I was just, I started like praying, and I was just getting like I was like, God, I don't want to do this again.
No.
And like something came over me, and I got up and I took the bag and I flushed it.
Uh-huh.
And I've never like disposed of drugs like that before.
Right.
Um, and it was weird, and like I rinsed the pipe out and everything, and I was
Mhm.
like, and I just felt it come over me, and then I just started praying. Like from that day on, I just started praying. And I make sure to pray every day now.
Mhm.
In the morning, throughout the day, like even at work, like I'll go in the bathroom and I'll pray.
Mhm.
If I feel like I need to, like or
Right.
just for guidance and stuff. But like I've never experienced it before. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like just like the feeling I got, and like as I was walking, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
Right.
but it just happened. It just something else did it, not I.
Right.
Um, but it all started with a prayer, like I don't want to go down this again. I don't want to do this
Yep.
again. And it played out that way.
Mhm.
Um, and I was struggling, like there were, because like I said, I was talking with my sponsor, I was meeting with him, like there was times where we were in contact, in person and stuff, like, and he even suggested, he's like, well, maybe you should just go back to sober living, like if like, because I would, like through the summer, I was like isolating, I was ignoring people, I was to myself. And then I like got in contact with him, and I was like, I'm struggling, like I don't know what to
Mhm.
do, and then we met up, and then I'd get sober for a couple weeks, and
Mhm.
then like stop drinking, and then I'd just go back to it. You know what I mean? Like I was having a hard time like
Mhm.
gripping that sobriety again. And then it just I don't know how to it just happened that one day. Like I prayed, and
So you got a new sponsor or the same sponsor?
same sponsor.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that everything worked out that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's gone.
Yeah. God is not his fault. Remember?
Yeah.
It's your fault. And he's just here just watching you do whatever you're gonna do.
But with the right, all you gotta do is ask, and
Right.
and he'll you may be in a situation, but he can he may not put you there, but he can get you out of it.
Right. And I'm glad you at that point right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So are you back in sober living?
No.
Okay.
No, I told my sponsor, I was like, I just don't want to go back, you know.
Right.
I got a good place, like, my rent's, pretty decent priced, and stuff. It's like, I don't want to lose my spot where I'm at right now
Mm-hmm.
and then have to like go to sober living. Where am I going to put all my stuff? All those thoughts.
Right.
So I told him, I was like, I can do this. I just got to, keep praying, and then it just, it happened. Um, and luckily, I continued to pray every day. And like I said, and then it just helped me,
Right.
keep it this time.
Well, amen to that. That's a start.
Yeah.
And one thing I always remember is my grand sponsor, Jack Height. He always says, if life starts getting crazy on you, just go back to what you was doing when you was at your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard for us sometimes to go back and reset, but it changed your life the first time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I'm a veteran with PTSD, and meth don't mix with that. You know what I mean? I'm setting booby traps around the city. You know what I mean? For real. Everybody take their shirts off and break their phones in half. You know what I mean? But um, what's something weird you used to do on meth?
Weird.
Yeah, that you can look back at now.
So when I first started using, like in the beginning, obviously it was fun, you socialize, party, get together,
Yeah,
all,
you
but
see,
that quickly goes downhill.
you got stacks and everything. You talk about stuff, right?
I oh, I mean, I would sit there and have conversations with myself,
Yeah,
I would talk to myself. I would hear, I would hear it all, the whole, there's them speaking to me, like whoever,
yeah,
whatever it was.
demons.
Yeah. Um,
Because meth is the devil.
yeah, for sure. But like, yeah, I would talk to myself a lot. I became very isolated. The only way I would be able to like really get out and be social is if I were to like be drinking,
Hmm.
And and that's kind of what, picked up towards the end there, like I wasn't doing meth as much as I was drinking.
Hmm.
I, because eventually, it just gets old,
Hmm.
like it went from the pills to the meth, and then that got old. So then I went to the booze, um, yeah.
Yeah, nothing seems to work anymore. You know what I mean? You get to that point. First, you were socializing. Now you're at home having conversations with yourself and the shadow people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just remember being in like so miserable high, and all night I'd be looking across the street and I could see somebody over there looking at me. And then finally, when the sun come up, it'd be a grocery bag in a tree or something. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Or yeah, just like a lawn chair. Oh, you think there's somebody crouched down.
yeah,
Here it's just somebody's like patio furniture.
man, I don't ever want to feel that feeling again. I don't know about you. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't. That's why I had to do something and start praying.
Right. So, what you besides praying, what else you gonna do? You're doing different this time.
Oh, you know, so well, before, during the time I relapsed, like right in that beginning of that, like I just felt stuck in like a cycle, like just the same, so I thought, like maybe I just need to change my home group, so I dropped my home group, tried to do that, that didn't work, and I ended up relapsing. But so I did change my home group up this time. I got a home group
Now,
again.
this is all decisions you made on your own without your sponsors' input.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, he suggested a home group,
Right.
like, um, I got a different home group. I've been attending that every week.
Mhm.
Um, like as a guy, it's always hard to like, pick up the phone and talk to another guy about your problems too,
Right.
So I try to, I try to,
The more you do it, the easier it gets there.
right, so I try to make sure I do that more, even with my sponsor, like
Hmm.
calling him. Or I'll tell him like, I'm gonna call you, I got a problem, and then I just push it off. Rather
Right.
than here, he's calling me, like, what did you need to talk about, like, but I try to make sure I should involve him more than I do.
Right.
But it's a work in progress. But
Tell everybody out there listening what a sponsor is.
a sponsor?
Yeah.
Oh, what is
Just tell them what a sponsor. If you have to explain to somebody, they'd be like, "What is a sponsor?"
a sponsor is a person
Hmm.
that you that you pick.
Or they pick you.
They can,
Yeah. Or God could pick them.
yeah. And it's just somebody that you feel comfortable with, that you can trust to guide you, through your recovery journey. I mean, is that yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Basically it. Some people don't know what a sponsor is, and they might, well, I need to get two of them.
yeah.
You know. Um. How do you deal with like cravings, or did you in your 16 months of sobriety? Did you still have using dreams, or are you having them now? Since it's like a fresh thing,
Um,
or you don't have them at all?
when I first got sober, that first time I did have them, while in sober living and stuff, I
Mhm.
had those dreams, I had those thoughts. Sometimes they would, I could even feel like a rush or something, what I mean? Like you almost can feel like
Mhm.
inside you. Um, this time around, that's another, so another thing that I'm doing different is, therapy.
Okay.
I, I've struggled with mental health and stuff, and like
Mhm.
depression, all that, and I was on a prescription,
Mhm.
but with just that one prescription, I don't think it was the right, it wasn't what I needed, so now
Mhm.
I'm on a couple things, and like that combination I think works better for me.
Mhm.
So this second time around here, I got put on a medication that helps with cravings,
Mhm.
with alcohol cravings.
Mhm.
And that with my antidepressant, it's a good combination and it works out. But then like I said, I do therapy it was every 2 weeks,
Yep.
so every other week I was going, and then I've been doing that for a few months now. So now I'm going like every 3 weeks.
Okay.
Um, and I do that every,
Yeah, therapy is great.
yeah,
I see a therapist.
yeah,
I think the more things you incorporate in your life that can just only make you better,
right,
you won't get bored.
exactly.
If you get bored again, like try something new, shave one eyebrow off or something. You know what I mean? Get Britney Spears on. No, I'm just joking. But do you volunteer anywhere?
No,
Have you tried that?
I mean, yeah, I've done volunteer work.
Right. But like, have you thought about like starting volunteering something that's like a weekly thing that's outside of like your home group or
I mean,
anything
I
like
wouldn't
that?
be opposed of it.
Right. I'm just everything. Everybody's experience is different.
Yeah,
That things that don't work for them, but I'm just throwing something out there that I find that works for me.
right,
And um, I'm a busy person. God has when I prayed to have more things to do in life that was productive. God wasn't playing. He said, "Okay, I got some stuff for you." You know
yeah,
what I mean? But like, I stay busy, I stay active, but I stay productive and keep progressing in the right direction.
yeah,
So sometimes idle time is the devil's playground. You know what I mean? So uh maybe just try something new. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like go out here and try to save all the kids in Africa. I'm just saying just find something that you can do that you don't get paid for and it's just giving back to the universe. It could be
yeah,
simple. It could be once a month. I mean, just it's just a suggestion. You know what I mean? I found that doing those type of things work for me, but it might not work for everybody else. But hey, it's worth a shot, right?
for sure.
You know what I mean? Um, how's your love life? Yeah, I mean, do you date? Do you just go to the bar and get a one night stand? You know what I mean? Somebody broke your heart, like
That's fine. Right now, I'm just focused on work.
right.
I
Did you since the first 16 months of sobriety, did you try like a little fling or anything?
like a relationship. No,
No.
no. I the first, like I was in sober living there, for a while. So I mean, like even dating and like sober living, it's kind of, I mean, weird, I think, but I moved down here and I didn't really have that friend group, so I was like meeting all new people and stuff.
Right,
I'm not in a rush, I believe that when it comes time for me to meet that right person, God will put him in front of me.
right. Well, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Um, what's one of your favorite prayers in recovery?
Um,
Third step, seventh step, Saint Francis. Anyone? Any of them?
Probably the third or the Serenity Prayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I used to wake up every morning and say all those prayers. Now I usually say them when I'm in a meeting to myself. You know what I mean? Um, I used to go to, I don't know, they say 90 meetings in 90 days.
Yeah.
I went to thousands. You know what I mean? Um, I stopped going to a lot of night meetings. You know what I mean? Because I got a family now, but I still hit like the Serenity, the Cap City. You know what I mean? I hit those during the day, and that's where I find my sobriety at. You know what I mean? I actually had to make a decision uh 3 4 years ago to not go to the meetings where all the girls were. You know what I mean? Because it just was a distraction for me. And that was a mature adult move right there. You know what I mean? To be able to do that,
Hmm.
But I had to learn my own lessons to get to that point. Or go to the meetings where it's just I'm going there because the recovery, not the, socialize with all these people. Just to go and, say hi and stuff to everybody. So I kind of like the meetings with the old timers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That works better for me, you know? Um, but there's so many sobriety meetings in North Dakota, well, in Bismarck Mandan area now. It's like if you want to get sober, it's here,
For sure.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, even with the, Zoom and stuff,
Right.
it's everywhere.
Did you ever think that when you started drinking again that you could die from being drunk and taking a drug that's laced with something? Did that pop in your head?
The thought of dying because of it.
Yeah. Or you just thought, well, here I go again.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I really thought of death that time, but
Hmm.
you know, um, I just thought about where I was and how I got there, and the only way I got to where I was at was because of being sober,
Right.
and like the thought of going backwards, and I could feel it, I could see it happening, I was slowly just stumbling back down.
Right.
That was what scared me more, I think,
Right.
having to go back down and starting over again.
Right.
Because when I moved to Bismarck, I didn't even have enough money to pay for my first month's rent at Sober Living.
Me either.
Like
Got a front on my new life. You know what I mean?
that's exactly. So, I came here with a bag of clothes that I owned from like high school, even,
Right.
like nothing new.
Yeah.
A couple pairs of shoes and like the clothes. That's all I came with.
Some corduroys and a mustard colored turtleneck.
Yeah. I mean, they were all pit stained, like
Right.
just old shirts and,
Uh-huh.
um,
These jerseys.
yeah. So I didn't have a car. When I first came, I started, going to meetings. I walked, and if I had
Mhm.
no way of, no ride at the time, I walked to work. I walked home from work. Like I
Mhm.
was on foot. And then I got rent paid. Got saved some money. Eventually, you can buy new clothes. Buy new things like that.
Right. You can order you a pizza.
Exactly. And then
No more food pantry.
all right. That's what I had to, I did that, like
No. Trust me.
I did it, but So I like knowing like that's what everything that I've worked up for, like those first 2 years of sobriety, like knowing that I could lose that, like by drinking and continuing using and stuff, that's what scared me. It wasn't the thought of dying, it was the thought of starting over.
Mm-hmm.
Like because the last time I had my own place, like or my name on a lease was, when I went to college, before I, started using,
Mm-hmm.
like um that's the last time I owned a car too, and then
Right.
that car got repo, and like now here I am with a car, like
Right.
able to drive, places, no longer walking, like,
Right.
you know, um,
Gratitude for the simple things.
I mean, I didn't even have a cell phone. There
Right.
was
Me
periods
either.
where when I was using, like actively using back in the day, like I didn't have a cell phone.
Yep.
And if I did, I
Had to
had
have a charger.
I had to have Wi-Fi,
Yeah. You didn't have Wi-Fi. You're missing the charger. The screen's cracked.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the. I
The
know the.
batteries removed.
I know the cycle. Got a pipe with no lighter.
Yeah.
Got a lighter with no dope. You know what I mean? I know. I know the cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um. What's one of the things you regret in your using?
Um, the probably the biggest thing that I regret would be just verbally, the things that I said and how I like treated my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, throughout my using and stuff, like my grandma, like she didn't have to, she didn't want to, but she was there for me,
Mm-hmm.
made sure I had somewhere to sleep and stuff.
Yep.
I def
Usually grandmas do.
and it's not that I even took, you know, like up space, at her place or the money that I stole or that she gave me, like I also like I stole a lot of time from her,
Mm-hmm.
like the years that I was using, the years that I was around her, like, in her life, like that affected
Mm-hmm.
her living, that affected her time, like,
Right.
and then the way I treated her and the things I would say and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that was probably my biggest regret.
Have you been able to make an amends?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my grandma, I mean, we have a good relationship. We always have, like, even when I was using it, like nothing's really changed between us, like she's always been who she is now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like there was no difference. The only difference is like now who I am, the grandson that I am. So when she's in town and stuff, here in Bismarck, she gets a hold of me.
Mm-hmm.
She's come to see me at my new job, or if they stay at a hotel, I go, to the hotel and eat at the restaurant with them and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I I don't have to like call her anymore, I'm like asking for money. Like I did that,
Right.
I've taken enough from her.
Mm-hmm. That's usually what we do.
Yeah.
Smart man told me when I first got in sobriety, he said, alcohol and drugs is takers. You know what I mean? That's what it does. It takes away everything. You know what I mean? That's why I always say on each meth baggie, they should have a Surgeon General warning. On one side, it should say the devil in big letters. On the other side, it should say you will become homeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose everything. You know what I mean? Even your self dignity sometimes.
Right.
And what's one of the things that made you the happiest in sobriety?
Hmm. That's a tough
Going to
one.
sleep at night?
Yeah.
I know that was one of the first things. I was like, man, I get to go to sleep every night now.
I don't know, just the fact that I'm able to have my own place,
Mm-hmm. You got a pet?
so that was something that was suggested of me,
Mm-hmm.
get a pet, for last summer and stuff. I was living alone, didn't have
Yeah.
anything. I recently, like 3 weeks ago, adopted a cat.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's your name there?
His name was Jackson, so I left it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Get you a pet squirrel or something to see if you can keep your eyes on him all night.
This cat is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a pet lizard, you know. I got a gecko named Coco. Yep. Been having for a while now. But that's one of the things I remember. It was like get a plant first. And then if you can raise a plant, get a pet.
So I had like 4 plants and they all died.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, with these terrains that we live in, to have a plant that stays alive, I mean, sometimes it just takes skill,
Yeah.
you know? It's
Gotta
like
have the right
baking.
window on the right side of the house, you know?
Right.
So the sunlight.
Yep. Um, do you when's the last time you played basketball? Have in sobriety? Like you ain't want to shoot around nowhere or nothing?
No.
There you go. Get this man playing basketball. You know what I mean? For real. Um, do you have another relapse in you?
Do I?
Yeah.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
I mean I can't predict the future.
Right.
You know, only God knows.
But there's ways to prevent it.
It's for sure.
You know what I mean? Um,
That's all I can do is prevent it.
if you won the lottery, you think you would stay sober?
Mm, yeah. If I won the lottery,
Yeah.
you know where you would find me?
Well,
At the casino.
right.
I'd just be gambling and trying to double it, you know?
Yeah, trying to get a different rush. Huh?
Exactly.
Well, maybe they'll get you your own machine at the hub. You know what I mean? So you hang out there more often.
Yeah. Do you think Megan would be up to that?
Probably not. You know what I mean? She'll probably just say you need to go to therapy twice a day. But
You know, gambling's a hard thing too to kick, you know?
right. Oh, I know. I've seen people.
Did you ever have that issue?
Not really. I mean, I'm kind of like a stick and move gambler. Like I got that feeling. We're gonna get in. I'm probably gonna bet $30. We're gonna get 172, and we're out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gambling was never like I was able always able to stick and move with gambling because I got to see a lot of people lose money. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like they had 20 grand and I turned around to get a drink for a second and I turned back and they lost it. I'm like, what just happened? You know what I mean? But it's just it's just that it's that rush.
Mhm.
You know what's two of the greatest schemes and hustles in the world known to man? Taxes and casinos. The only difference is you have a choice of going in a casino. You don't have a choice of paying tax. You know what I mean? Serious, think about it. Um, do you read any books?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
I
Any you like music?
I mean, yeah, I listen on the radio.
Okay. Who's your favorite singer?
My favorite
Yeah.
singer?
Or band or rapper or
Oh,
whoever. Country singer. It don't matter. Whatever's your thing. Techno?
no, more like alternative rock,
Okay.
you know.
Like old school?
Yeah, Foo Fighters,
Okay. There you go.
Disturbed.
Have you ever been to their concert?
No.
Well, would you love to though?
Yeah.
There
Are
you
you
go.
you're
You know
gonna
what to get him for his birthday.
Yeah.
um, if you had one last meal to eat and you was on death row, what would it be? It could be anything.
Probably sushi?
Would you use chopsticks or would you use your hands?
Fork.
Fork? Okay. I mean, I'm just painting the picture here. Have you ever left the country?
No.
If you could, what is a place that you always wanted to visit?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. I was just talking to somebody about Vancouver. I
I mean,
think,
they got all the seasons there. You know,
yeah,
it's right on the coast.
right.
You can go surfing. They also have like, you know,
You ever surfed?
well, I mean,
Oh,
I could try.
right. Yeah, I like that.
You could go
Oh,
skiing though, surfing. You know, they got
right,
mountain. You know, it's all there, all in
right.
one place.
What's the most energy drinks you ever drunk in one day?
Probably two.
NDY pie?
I mean, I never went crazy like that.
Yeah,
NDY costs too much for me.
yeah.
You know,
You
they're
went shotgunning them?
no.
Yeah. I, two things I've never seen in my life until when I came to North Dakota is one, being in jail and watching people snort lines of coffee, instant coffee. Two, watching people shotgun energy drinks. You know what I mean? Like, man, this is a trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember when I went to my first young people's conference, it was in Minneapolis. Me and a bunch of guys went. And that was before they even had NBY here. And man, it was just like a whole nother world. I was used to going to Serenity Place in Cap City. Man, I got to this hotel, it was like a sober rave. And everybody was shotgunning energy drinks and glow sticks and everything. I was like, I don't even know how to feel right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where I was just like, man, this is opened my eyes to a whole nother ball game, you know? But I like conferences. You know, actually got the Rule 62 conference going on right now in Mandan, Bismarck area. It's sold out. So if you can hang out in the parking lot, you can hang out in the lobby, unless you got a ticket. But
Yeah.
they got people you can talk to. You know what I mean? They'll be coming in and out to go smoke or vape. And but that's a great conference. Great speakers. I usually hit it every year. I got a lot of other conferences and situations going on right now and events coming up. Have you ever told your experience, strength, and hope? Have you ever stood on a podium and told your story?
Well, I mean, I've done it in a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not I didn't stand up though.
Well, right now you just stood up on a podium and it's going across the whole world. Yeah. So just remember that.
Yeah.
If they ever ask you, you got to stand up in front of a couple hundred people, you be like,
Easy.
God's got this. You know what I mean? I just went in front of like millions. You know,
I've been on podcasts before.
which one?
The one for Heartview.
Yeah,
What's it called?
I don't know.
They do it down at the.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's
I go
called.
speak at Heartview often, and they ain't never asked me to be on a podcast. So
Yeah, I've done that twice.
yeah, so I don't know what the name of it is. I'm just joking. I don't though. I've been on the podcast in the prison. There's a podcast in the prison that I've been on. I've been on one at Evangel Church. Uh, I've been on a couple other ones. People interviewed me, but mainly it's Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, baby. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, all of the above. If you want us to come to some of your events or you have any ideas, hit us up. We DJ, we produce. I mean, we can do whatever you need to succeed. Any goals in your life right now?
Goals?
Yeah,
Right now, I'm just, I got that new job, so obviously I want to succeed at that.
right.
So I'm trying to, just
Right now is have you ever been a salesman?
in retail,
Right.
not,
Not car,
no.
vehicles. I'm gonna tell you something. Right now, it's almost taxed. It's tax time. People gonna be getting their money, and they're gonna be going to get cars.
Well, right now, for the next week, we have a good deal going on down there.
Yeah, no credit,
With
bad credit. Huh?
with true
I'll take two.
with good credit, interest rates as low as 4.99%.
Okay.
That's pretty low,
Yeah.
No, so for goals though, like trying to get, just trying to focus on the job, and then I got that cat, I got to take care of that.
hmm
I need to, well, that's another thing when it comes to like being in a relationship and stuff, I need to get to a place where I'm comfortable, just like financially stable and stuff,
Right.
like I don't want to, get into something, when I have,
Baggage.
yes, exactly.
You know what I found out about life? You always got baggage. It's
Yeah.
either this big duffel bags or it could be fanny packs. You know what I mean? You always gonna have something. But I understand what you're saying. You want to be better, better constructed or
Yeah.
whatever. And that's what's up. Because I don't want to see you out there messing somebody else's life up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Killing their plants. They come home. They've been having this plant since their great grandma was alive. It just kept getting from pot to pot. They come home, you didn't kill it.
Yeah.
Um, or do you think sober living works?
Yeah.
Do you think people that substitute drugs in treatment and out of treatment, like methadone, Suboxone, and all that, do you think that that keeps them sober, or do you think that just kind of like keeps them unsober in a different way? What is your thoughts on that?
Um, I honestly, with mental health these days, like whatever, it all depends, I guess,
Right.
um, like, do you need it or not? You know,
Hmm.
like, for me, I mean, when I went to therapy and stuff, the place I go, they, have a nurse practitioner there
Hmm.
that I worked with, and she even suggested going to like a Suboxone clinic and stuff. But I told her, I was like, well, I haven't done opioids for a while.
Right.
But I went there and because they deal with alcohol and stuff. That's where I got on like naltrexone or whatever, to
Hmm.
help with cravings. I
Right.
mean, it's kind of like,
I know what it is.
it's like that's kind of what Suboxone is, to help with cravings.
Right.
I mean, if it works, it works. It's
Hmm.
not, and it doesn't have to be long term.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some people look at things and think like, oh, you're going to be on that forever, but there's ways to get off things too.
Right.
Um, like I said, like I was on like just my antidepressant before, and like the combinations too,
Hmm.
like you got to make sure you're on the right dosage, the right combinations. You got to have the right people.
Right.
Um, and some people like I went, when I first got, on my medication stuff, I just went to like my primary doctor, but I mean like they can't do much. Like they can prescribe things and like do
Hmm.
refills, but they don't know what to prescribe unless, like they're not a specialist to diagnose you.
Right.
Um,
That's why you get that referral.
right, and go to therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The waiting list is about 78 months. For real, I ain't gonna lie. The mental health is crisis everywhere. Is waiting lists for everything. You know what I mean? But sometimes you get a break, a blessing.
Yeah.
Um, what's your favorite store to go shopping at?
I
What's your
like
favorite store you used to
the
steal?
grocery store.
Did you used to steal from stores?
No.
No, just grandma.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do, right?
No, I never stole like yeah, I never stole like from a gas station, from you know, any kind of retail store, nothing.
Right. Um, do you run into people that like how do you get drugs? You just run like drive around town bumping your horn?
No.
Or you have like if you wanted to get high right now, you know where to go?
Sadly, yes.
Okay. Well, you need to change that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to tell you what to do. Like, I mean, the one thing I hated about North Dakota, it's hard to get drugs up here sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
You think so?
yeah, it was like a runaround. It's like, man, this is stupid. You know what I mean?
I mean, in the small town, it was like that, but
It's just like a runaround.
see, even when I was in Beulah, like I would come up to Bismarck.
It's like, why even do it?
The only time I would come up here though was to get drugs.
Right,
Like up here, I feel like it's everywhere.
right. I mean, everywhere in America.
But I mean, in Bismarck alone, like there's boom, 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 boom.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I was set on going to find some drugs,
Yeah,
I could find them.
yeah.
But it's just a rat race. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. Um, they say you got to change everything, right? You got to change your friends, what you know, the places you go,
Mhm.
because you will be tested. You know what I mean? I remember. I look back at my sobriety, like when I first got sober, and like I run into somebody and they got like a truckload or something. You know what I mean? And they like, and I had to make a decision. You know what I mean? Like, because my old brain's like, I'm gonna take over the city. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna use this and fix all my problems, and then I wound up doing all this. So I had to make some decisions, and it came like it'd be like, okay, 6 months, boom. Then it's like this big test would pop up, and then a year, it just kept coming. Now it doesn't really happen anymore. You know what I mean? Like the enemy knows what side I'm on. You know what I mean? And I used to live a double life so much. You know what I mean? Like, and they say anything with two heads is a monster. You know, I used to like try to like live a normal life and then live that snorting meth in the closet life. You know what I mean? It's no part timing. I mean, you're gonna be up at up at night, sleep during the day. You know, it's just everything's gonna be if you even go to sleep.
Right.
And so, um, I just like to live one way. You know what I mean? Like in the right direction. Put it that way. Um, do you have a certain bedtime you go to sleep every night that you set yourself at? I know the reason I asked that is because like when I first got sober and I was in sober living, it was like I was going to bed exactly at 10 o'clock at night every night, and I wake up at 6 with no alarm clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now it's like I drink coffee, I'm drinking
Yeah.
caffeine drinks, and sometimes it's like midnight, and I'm just sitting there twiddling my fingers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, that's kind of how I am, and sometimes I have a hard time falling asleep,
Right.
uh, I so I watch TV, try to get I was it was suggested by in therapy too though. You're not supposed to go to your bed until you're actually tired
All right.
because you got to train your mind to like know like the bed is for sleep. So like if you go to bed and you're not tired,
Yeah.
your brain's not gonna like, you know, put that puzzle together like, hey, this is, time to bed.
Right.
So I mean, I've been taking those suggestions, trying to do all that, but like, and they told me to start reading before bedtime, try to help me fall asleep and get me
Mhm.
tired. But I went to the library, got a library card, but I never opened the books.
Well,
I brought them home, but
right. Just try one. You know what I mean? Get one with a bunch of pictures at first. You know what I mean? Um, if you could tell anybody out there listening right now, if they're in sober living and they're thinking about getting their own apartment and they're thinking about being bored and wanting to go drink, or they're relapsed and they want to get sober again. If you had any words of wisdom to anybody out there listening, what would you tell them?
um, if you're getting bored, think about using or drinking, there's always somebody to talk to.
Right.
You know,
Besides yourself.
exactly. As much as you like, sometimes you get in that mindset where you're like, oh, there's nobody out there, there's nobody to call, there's nobody to talk to, but that's just an excuse you're coming up with,
Right.
giving yourself a reason to go drink.
That's your mind lying to you in your own voice. It's
No,
very tricky.
it's the devil trying to get in.
Right. That's why I always told people, they'd be like, man, I just can't get my life together. Well, stop poking holes in your body. You know what I mean? And letting them spirits in. You know, when I knew what the the disease of addiction and alcoholism was, is when COVID hit. Everybody's wearing masks, they're being safe, right? But they got a couple junkies hanging around each other that sharing the same needle, but they got their mask on. You know what I mean? They sipping out the same fireball bottle, but they got their mask on. I was like, if that ain't the disease of addiction, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You know? Um, when you see needles, does it give you some kind of like triggers?
No,
No?
no. I, I never like, I was honestly, the thought of like shooting up when,
Hmm.
like people were doing it around me and stuff. And I could never get myself to do it, like,
Hmm.
cause just the thought of it,
Right.
scared me. Um, but then once I got hooked, and like then I, just went, and I kept going and I, so it never bothers me. I mean, I've gone to the doctor, I've had to get blood drawn, and stuff like,
Right.
and it's almost like back to what it was before, like that fear, like, it's just like, I just can't even look, but not because it like triggers or anything, but just because, I don't know. Yeah. I've never thought of like shooting up.
Hmm.
Um, ever since like the first time I got sober, I never thought of it.
Right. That's good.
Like I've had dreams of using, but I've never like dreamt of like actually like shooting up or
Right.
anything.
Well, I got Chase Sailor with me, folks. He's 2.5, 3 months sober.
Almost 3 now.
Almost 3 months sober on his second go round.
Yeah,
He's still alive.
I am.
You know what I mean? He's the #1 car salesman at Dvork right here locally. Go see him. They got great deals. No credit, bad credit. 3% interest.
Fine.
It's 5%. It's tax time, folks. Go see your man Chase. He can get you in an Audi. He can get you in something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we have a nice one on the lot.
Yeah.
A couple of them.
Yeah. And how many cars do you plan to sell? What's a typical number for a car salesman to sell in 1 year? You got did you set a goal for yourself yet?
So I'm trying to just do monthly goals right now, because
Oh,
I'm new in the game and everything.
yeah, or monthly.
Right. So last month I did, I was there for like 2.5 weeks, and did 4 sales.
There you go.
So I figured,
You can
well,
pop the cherry.
if I did that in half a month, I should be able to double that in a whole month.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see myself get to at least 8,
Right.
this month. I still got 2 full weeks left, so
Right.
then I just figured I would, just set goals from, based off of performance and how, what I reach. And I know,
What's a typical credit score somebody needs?
I don't do finances.
Okay.
We got a finance guy there.
Okay.
He'll run those numbers for you.
Okay. I'm just asking. I don't. You know what I mean?
It all depends too, like, when it comes to credit, like if you got a good down payment, that'll help,
Yeah. How about trading in a car that don't work?
But don't work.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. Yeah. We'll give you 50 cents.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, brother, for coming and share your testimony. I think it's great that you're coming out and you know what I mean. And I thank you for volunteering and stepping up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Chase Sailor, straight out of Beulah, North Dakota.
Yeah.
He's doing a thing. A Hope Manor alumni.
Yeah.
And if you need a car, come and see this man.
I'll be there waiting.
You got any shout outs?
Too high?
Yeah, like shout outs to friends, family, your cat.
Yeah. The only one that comes to mind is Hope Manor.
Yep. Shout out to Hope Manor for sure.
Hope Manor. That's where it's at.
The hub, the whole everybody, the whole organization.
Yeah.
Any wise words? Any last words? Nope.
You
Pray every day. You know what I mean? That's what he said. That's the new motto, right?
let God.
Let God after you, God, is what you're supposed to say. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you again, my brother.
You're welcome.
God bless you. I'll be praying for you myself. Chase Sailor with 3 months, almost 3 months of sobriety, his second go round. I want a special thanks to Tied for Second, Sober Living, New Freedom Center, Serenity Bridge, Perry Recovery Center, Relevant Life Church, Hip Hop and Hope, Evangel Church, NDSP, all the correctional facilities, the F5 Project, Preferred Heating and Air, J Dobo. You can catch him in Dickinson, North Dakota tomorrow at the Winter Vendor Show. Go see J Dobo, spice up your life. But I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank your bodyguard Bryce for coming, keeping you in line. I want to thank Sober Talk lead production man behind the ones and twos, my man Daily Love. You know what I mean, Derek Daly. And if anybody's looking for needs a DJ, they need some kind of production. You need some speakers, anything in that category. We're here for you. Just reach out to us. We got a lot of events coming up, a lot of conferences, different things. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. And next week, tune in. I got 2 great guests coming from Blessed Builders Ministries right here in Bismarck, North Dakota. My heart goes out to all the families that lost someone in 2024 or 2025, or just in general that lost someone from addiction to alcoholism. I keep you in my prayers. And in the words of my great grand sponsor, Jack Height, if nobody told you yet, we love you, baby. Peace and chicken grease, my man. Chase Sailor.
Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. It's the weekend!